Squad, welcome back to InhaleGamesHQ. You could call me Calm, and today we have another Apex season to talk about, Season 14, Hunted. A lot of this has already been going around and you may already know, but I just like to put it all in one place, and then we'll dive beneath the surface into the patch notes and some of the bug fixes and additional updates of the game. So definitely stay tuned to the channel, and remember to subscribe if you're interested in any further Apex intel. But I digress. Let's jump into the surface of Season 14 and what to expect, starting with, of course, the new legend. Xiomara Contreras, or Mara, was born and raised alone on the wild ice planet Pagos. Curious from a young age and very good with a sniper, eventually she made her way across a wreckage site of an old GDS vessel. Now this was a vessel carrying prisoners, which actually happened to be Mara's mother. So during this time, she was believing that she was being raised alone, nothing was a problem, and then she finds out she's been lied to, her mother was a prisoner, and that's how she got there. Now, in all of the chaos, the ship actually collapsed and Mara suffered some injuries, and so the only way to save her life was to call in the SOS beacon that was on the GDS, and that essentially put her mother back behind bars but saved Mara's life. Not really being able to fit in anywhere, but knowing how to survive, she really looked at the Apex games and is hoping that with enough awareness she can reverse this wrongful conviction of her mother and definitely raise the support of those around her and really live her life for the first time off of Pagos. While on Pagos, though, she did happen across a new little friend here, as you can see, and actually issued to have it be legal as her pet in the Apex games, even saying that Bloodhound has a bird, and so why can't she have her little bat? And so we'll be seeing that, and I'm excited. So Mara, aka Vantage, new to Season 14. She's 18 years old and from the home world of Pagos. Let's check out her abilities. So looking at her tactical here, it's the Echo relocation. So with this, you actually get to relocate to your little bat friend after you've placed him out, kind of like a Lobo bracelet, if you will. And then the jetpack on her back, allowing her to, well, relocate and keep her vantage points and allow her to actually get the intel from the spawning lens, back her team, and hit those shots. So then moving on to her passive ability, the Spotter's Lens. If you aim down sight with nothing, you actually have a little eyepiece that you'll pull out and it'll give you some intel. Additionally, using any mid to long range scopes will give you that intel from distance to hit those opening long range shots and just allow your team to have the advantage. Looking at her ultimate now, the Sniper's Mark. It's actually a new sniper, not floor loot sniper, one specific to our girl Vantage here, allowing her to actually mark and apply a damage bonus to herself and her teammates. This should be super fun, and again, it's a sniper rifle, so it's going to have the scope on it, allowing the Spotter's Lens passive to be active, giving you the additional intel as you see on the screen, and just her mobility with the Echo relocation should be a lot of fun. Let me know if you're excited for this legend. I think I'm going to give her a try, and I'm excited for the sniper meta to come up a little bit more into pubs. I know myself, I'm not as great, and we see a lot of PK stomps up close more often than anything, but the Senti does slap, and the Kraber's insane, so I'm excited to see this sniper rifle in action. Season 14 could feel like a bit of a filler season, but I think there's going to be a lot more beneath the surface, so we'll get into that later. And of course, with the changes made to this meta, I think we'll experience King's Canyon in a whole new light, and that's what we'll get into next. Respawn mentioned that the frequent feedback was that Kings was too small. With the way the game has continued to adapt and introduce more legends and abilities, so too should the maps reflect this change and allow for optimal gameplay. And this was their focus for this season. First, we have the POI update, the Point of Interest update, Relic. This was where Salvage used to be in the Suspended Skull, which was actually Old Skull Town and Thunderdome, which was blown up back in Season 5 with Loba. It's now filled back up, the salvage team has completed their mission, the land has been restored, they've added some houses, and of course the center skull piece is there, so this should feel nostalgic for those remembering Skull Town, but also new to provide a new experience and open that side of the map up, allowing for hopefully just cleaner rotations and better early mid-game pacing. Some more map changes though for the cage, opening that up, and so you can't just kind of hold it. The hillside, which used to, again, rotating down through containment. If you got caught on that overpass or up on the hillside houses there, you would absolutely be fighting 10 teams for 10 minutes. So now they've actually rebuilt that hillside just as a rotation piece with no internal places to hold or structures to, fortify. And also the broken relay area, they've added a few more buildings in and just expanded that side of the map as well. To further the map rotation updates and fix the pacing of Kings Canyon, just making it feel a bit bigger and play just a little bit slower, they've actually cut off a lot of these connecting pieces that used to really quickly bring you to the main points of interest and third parties. So you can see by the broken bridges, by the market, there by the cage as well. So hopefully closing all of these down should lead to better pacing and planned rotations. Another one of Respawn's focuses for Season 14 based off of our feedback was the loot. So the loot has been refreshed, the loot disparity, the loot quality, as well as the loot quantity. So quickly looking at the loot disparity, they say they've rebalanced and distributed the loot across a number of POIs to address major loot disparity between key POIs. Crash Site and Spotted Lakes have been taken down a peg, and several older POIs have been given a much needed bump, such as Runoff, Hydro Dam, Swamps, and Octane's Gauntlet. Loot quality, they've made a significant change to the loot rarity zones across King Canyon. Many POIs felt prominent enough for medium or rare tier loot, they simply weren't tagged for it, so the quality of loot across Kings Canyon should feel more intuitive this season. Lastly, the loot quantity. Kings Canyon's total loot count was much lower compared to the other maps. The biggest offenders were buildings from the original versions of the map that contained less loot overall than buildings introduced to subsequent map updates. So we should really be feeling like there's some good loot out there, a lot of it, and dispersed properly amongst the POIs. You can quickly see the skybox and lighting here on screen has been completely updated, just a lot brighter, less clouds, just feeling more open. That's going to allow, again, the map to just feel a bit bigger, which was their goal for this season, alongside the rotations and the loot. It should be feeling like an all-new Kings Canyon here for Season 14. Definitely let me know down below if you're excited for Relic and the new updated Kings. Lastly though, just some additional changes and kind of quality of life improvements that didn't quite fit under the previously mentioned categories. We have just a little list. They added new raised walkway to help players rotate between destroyed bridges and river center. They added 2 sets of stairs and 2 zip lines to help non-movement legends access the walls at Repulsor. Added 1 vertical zip line to help non-movement legends across the wall at Artillery. Added 2 vertical zip lines to help players access the walls at Swamps. Added a new explosive hold at Swamps, removed a number of trees and forests to improve visibility, removed 2 of the 3 charge towers at Capacitor, removed 5 jump towers in areas that would benefit the slower rotations, and fixed many bugs and bad end circles. But as we move on to the final things to note, obviously for Season 14, we have our Battle Pass, so we got a bunch to earn, but we have an upgrade finally, squad, to the level system, so we can now continue to progress and put that XP towards something. So updated level cap is definitely nice, and addressing some of these feedback points from the community is also appreciated. Overall, we have a pretty decent season, a new legend, map updates, a new battle pass of course, and the level cap increase finally. If you want to dive beneath the surface into the nitty gritty of what's hopefully shifting the meta forward with all the legend changes, bug fixes, and additional updates to the game, feel free to stay tuned to the channel or check out the video and the cards there, subscribe, and as always, stay safe, stay gaming, and I'll see you in the next one. COMMsOut.